What is going on, everybody? Let's talk about F1, the brand new movie from Joseph Kosinski and Aaron Kruger. If you don't know who that team is, Joseph Kosinski is the man who directed Top Gun Maverick, which is, of course, one of my favorite movies in the last 5 to 10 years. And Aaron Kruger was also on that film with him. They both wrote that movie, and they both wrote this movie. Well, Kosinski directed it, and it feels like the first thing that I thought of was that Aaron Kruger is on his redemption arc. Just like this movie is a story about comeback and redemption for an F1 driver, Aaron Kruger is on his redemption arc after Dumbo and all of the hated Transformers movies that I, of course, love, but a lot of other people don't. So, after making Top Gun Maverick and then going into this film, it seems like these guys have found their niche. They know exactly what works for them. This is a movie starring Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Javier Bardem, and Kerry Condon. Kerry Condon's voice, of course, I recognized as soon as the movie started, and I couldn't figure out where the heck I knew her from, and then I realized she is, of course, the voice of Friday in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And in this movie, Brad Pitt plays basically a character named Sonny Hayes, who is an ex-hotshot F1 driver who left the sport after just an absolutely brutal crash in his early years. He went on to spend the rest of his life driving in other circuits and other cars, basically a driver for hire. They point out that he is in a lot of ways flawed. He was a professional gambler for a time. He's been married a bunch of times. He is a flawed main character looking for redemption. And in a sports movie, I think that any guy watching this review will tell you that this is a formula that a lot of people love. One thing that I thought was funny is, like, in the last couple of years, the sports movies I've liked the most seem to be coming from something like this. I really enjoyed Gran Turismo in 2023. So in this movie, what happens is you see the character of Sonny. He is racing any circuit that he can just to make ends meet. He lives in his van when his old friend, played by Javier Bardem, a character named Ruben Cervantes, comes to him. He now owns an F1 team, and he's throwing a Hail Mary, bringing in the character of Sonny to drive number 2 with this new hotshot driver that they have named Joshua Pierce. That's, of course, Damson Idris's character. And, the dynamic is set right from the start, and it picks up, and I really, really, really enjoyed this movie, guys. Like, classic sports underdog comeback story about redemption is one that I think, as I just said, any guy will tell you that this is the type of movie that they're going to sit down and want to see. And this movie is carried by Brad Pitt's portrayal, which is this weathered maverick character who does things his own way. He often goes against what the team thinks is right, what they advise him to do. And in a lot of ways, this could have gone very, very wrong because it's all about him nailing the temperament of this character. He has seen a lot, he's been through a lot, but he's not angry. He's not hollowed out and cruel to the people around him. He is somebody with experience that the team themselves, because they are professionals in this league, despite the fact that they're on the chopping block from their owner, or not from the owner, but from the board of directors, the people who decide whether or not to sell this team because they haven't won a major race. They don't take him seriously because he spent the last 30 years away from this part of the industry. But what happens is they don't allow you to wallow with this character. He is a professional. He has experience. He's damaged in many, many ways, but there's something enthralling, there's something captivating and honest about the way that Brad Pitt portrays this character, that it almost feels like how you as the audience can't help but like him. The team themselves can't help but like them, despite the fact that he makes the movie, or he makes the racing world a mess for a lot of them. And the team second guesses him a lot. They make jokes at his expense, of course, because of his age. But the thing is like, you worry about that with movies. We worried about that with Top Gun Maverick. Are they going to bring back the character of Maverick and then crap on him and turn him into the butt of the joke? Well, in this movie, what they do is his competency is a lot of times called into question because he is in a place right now where he hasn't been working in this industry. He's been working all of these lower circuits. He's not at this elite level, but oftentimes he he is shown to be right, which ends up helping you as the audience realize that this is not a movie that's looking to talk down to its lead character, which I really, really enjoyed. I really don't think this movie gets off the ground without Brad Pitt's performance. The character that Damson Idris plays, he's supposed to be this hotshot young racer who has some of the same kind of core values as the character of Sonny, meaning that he loves what he does. He gets drawn into the social media aspect of the sport and all of the noise, which of course the character of Sonny helps kind of get him to tune out and not pay attention to, despite the fact that it's so prevalent for modern racers. And there's also this sense that despite the fact that the team second guesses him, you're never meant to believe that he is in any way someone to be looked down upon. And that's good. They don't overdo his age either, which I was very, very happy about. Like, there are points where he looks to Joshua and he says, look, you need to tune out all of the distractions. You need to tune out the press, social media, all of this stuff. There's one point where he tells him, put away your phone. But they don't do the hello there, fellow kids. What is this their technology with you kids on the Facebooks? It's implied through his demeanor, which is that of somebody from another time in the world. And that is done with a certain level of care that I think could have been ruined if it was done by writers who were giving a more ham-fisted approach to something like this. And the action scenes are absolutely kinetic and insane. The shots from inside the vehicles make you feel like you are on the track with these racers, and every turn, every angle, every fight for, jockeying for position with another car is something that you as the audience feel, and it makes for great moments of tension and helps you realize that the emotional tension that is built through these race scenes is used to then kind of slingshot you into the emotional moments that are done after, where they then lull you into a sense of story and build before shooting you right back into the races, which is really where the movie's strengths lie, which is in the minutia of the sport of F1. Now, if you're someone like me who doesn't know a thing about it, that's actually good, because when you go into this movie, they immerse you in the story by bringing you into the world of F1 racing, which is not just a bunch of guys in cars that go kind of fast running around a track. It's about science. It's about strategy. It's about working together with teammates. And all of that is used as a way to both build up kind of the legend around just how much the character of Sonny knows about this sport, despite the fact that everybody counts him out and tells him that he's not right for this. And that immersion into the world is kind of what allows you to buy into everything else that you're seeing, and it really, really worked for this. There was a romance story with Kate, who is the first F1 female engineer for any team. And I liked it because it didn't go over the top. They didn't make it something it didn't need to be. In this case, it feels to me like it is a physical manifestation for Sonny. It's a way to humanize him in a physical way rather than just a psychological way or in the professional way through what he does on the track. But they have great chemistry. And in a way, she brings out even more of that softer side of the character. But it's never portrayed as if these two people who have met later in life, as we said, he's damaged, he's been married several times. This isn't some sort of true love. They were meant to be together from the beginning. But they do go there and they do lean into it. And I think in today's day and age, when it comes with these movies, I think that people want some of that. I think that Hollywood in a lot of ways shies away from it. It's one of the reasons why I think the ending of Top Gun Maverick worked so well, was that they dared to finish that movie with the main character and with Jennifer Connelly and Tom Cruise, with the two main characters going off into the sunset together while a love ballad played in the background. If that isn't a love letter to something from the 80s or the 90s, I don't know what is. And in today's day and age, it feels like Hollywood doesn't want to do that because they feel like they still have to subvert expectations. I remember when Twisters came out, which is a movie that I actually really, really liked. They didn't have Glenn Powell's character and the other character kiss at the end of the movie, and they said that they felt like it didn't fit there. Well, you're wrong. it did fit there, and a lot of people felt kind of wronged at the fact that they weren't willing to go there for the sake of worrying that you were cheapening something. You weren't. People are hungry for that type of storytelling still. Now, that doesn't mean that this has to be some over-the-top, campy story of true love. It was never that. It's about two people connecting in a way that you wouldn't expect to happen, given the fact that he wouldn't have been expected to be in F1 just a couple of days prior, and then as they go through this season, they grow closer, and it helps. It's really, really good for the storytelling, and I really, really enjoyed it. The final race in this movie brings about actual catharsis, and I really, really enjoyed that. I think that you knew what was going to happen at the end, but they actually do subvert a bit in how it comes to be. I didn't expect the character that won to be the one that did. I don't know if I want to give too much away here, but they did it in a way that really, really worked. And because you knew that one of these two characters was going to be the one that won the race, it wasn't about making it a breakneck finish to the end. It was about building up to this cathartic moment and then releasing it all at once, and it really, really worked. There were a couple of things in the movie that I didn't think worked as well. They did look, I didn't Damson Idris does a great job once the two characters start to work together, but when he plays a foil, you know, the cocky rookie to Brad Pitt's, you know, to the Sonny character's weathered but experienced pro, I just didn't buy it. Like, it's almost like the actor is too likable in a way that I didn't buy him as this cocky rookie. And when he has a moment later in the film after a crash, I didn't really buy his anger in the way that I felt like you were supposed to. And I feel like in a lot of ways it's because maybe it's my own perception of how these movies are made, but I wanted the two characters to like each other and get along and work together. And of course they do get to that, but the way they kind of put roadblocks in front of it in a lot of ways, it felt a little bit manufactured. The cinematography was a tad flat to me. The action scenes, like I said, the race scenes are absolutely unbelievable, but the general cinematography to me, it just felt flat in a way that seems very indicative of a lot of movies that get made today. And I think that one of the things that some people might dislike about this film is, like, it's a Hans Zimmer score, which when it works really, really well, but it doesn't always feel like a Hans Zimmer score. And I think it may have been by design at points where when they're on the track, it's drowned out by the sound of the cars and the sound of the voices in the headset, which is designed to immerse you in the film. So by and large, they may have gotten exactly what they were going for, but maybe it's just because you're kind of expecting those kind of deep Hans Zimmer scores. It didn't always hit that note for me. And they used a lot of modern music, which didn't really bother me at all. I thought it actually worked in a lot of ways. Maybe it's because there is a whole secondary story to this movie that involves a younger character, but there's like musicians like Tate McRae and Roddy Ricch and others that you wouldn't expect in a movie like this. I feel like you look at the poster for F1 and what you're expecting is to see a lot of classic rock, something like that. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but they modernized it in a way that worked for me within the storytelling, but I could see some people having problems with that. There was also a storyline with health issues related to Sonny that is used at the end as kind of the impetus to lead into the final race that I felt was a bit tacked on, and perhaps I just missed something in the film, but it didn't really land in the way. It felt like something that the writers put up as an obstacle to prevent the actor from getting to where he needed to too quickly, rather than something that organically felt that way. It needed to be mentioned more in the film. And again, I could have just been missing something there, but I think that Brad Pitt's performance for this movie and the scenes on the track are enough to want to bring out any guy who loves a classic Hollywood sports comeback underdog story. It ends up becoming a story about cooperation and working together. It becomes a story about friendship on many levels. There is a romantic connection that doesn't overplay its hand. There's a lot to like about this movie, and if this is one of those films where, given the way that these action movies are the action scenes are shot, it deserves to be seen on the big screen. The funniest thing about it is my last really small complaint for this movie was at the end of the film when they're doing these shots of the whole team on the track, you can see some well done, but still noticeable if you know what you're looking for, CGI, green screen, whereas you never get that feeling when they're on the track because of the way in which those scenes were shot. And it's very weird to think that, you know, just by nature of needing to get onto a track with a full crowd and fireworks going, stuff had to be done, I assume, CGI, which they didn't need to do because they could actually get on the track and race and not show the crowd and the audience. So it's weird that the stuff that would normally be the stuff you see with CGI ends up being the stuff that looks practical and amazing. And a couple of these shots at the end that need to be there do kind of take you out of the moment just a tiny bit if you know what you're looking for. But I don't think that's going to bother anyone. By that point, you're running towards the end of the movie, and I think the movie finishes perfectly in a lot of ways. The health scare that he has led me to believe that something was going to happen to him that did not. So I think you guys should go check this movie out. Look, if you are an action fan, if you are a sports underdog film fan, if you're just a dude who likes to watch cars drive fast, I think you will enjoy this movie. And a story like this these days, like Top Gun Maverick, feels like something from a bygone era, something that you're not going to see every day anymore. So I recommend going out, check out this movie. I want to see Joseph Kosinski and Aaron Kruger make more movies together, and I want to see a lot more movies like this. If you did go see this film, guys, let me know down below. What did you think about it? How did you feel like it stacked up compared to other movies in the genre? Did you see Gran Turismo in 2023, which I really, really enjoyed? And what is your favorite sports movie in general? It doesn't have to be racing. What is your favorite sports movie that you've ever seen? Let me know down below, guys, what you thought about all of it. If you don't know what it is, Pop Culture Crisis is the podcast. We are live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. See you there, guys. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.